hold on a minute. I might as well give benefit to the dunya. So, brother has a question. Question was
that there's a few people asking me where eating haram food is halal in Christian nations around the world.
Yeah, so basically, the idea is, can you eat the meat of Ahl Kitaab?
Yeah.
We are in, or people of the book, we are in UK, and it's a Christian country. Go on, do it. You're on live stream, yeah? Go on, hit me having a live stream, yeah? Go on. Yeah, we are on, sorry, I was a Sahara girl. We are in a Christian country, and we can eat their meat. Now, yes, we could eat the meat of a Christian or a Jew. So if you went to any kosher restaurant and ate there, it would be perfectly fine.
Okay, yeah.
Now, I know people think, oh wait, they're not Muslim. I know, but you can eat the meat of Ahl Kitaab. Now, the question is then, okay, how about McDonald's then? McDonald's and all the other places and Tesco's and that stuff, why can't you eat their meat? I mean, they're Ahl Kitaab, aren't they? And in theory, yeah, but there's the other issue of Maita. Now, Allah mentioned in the Quran, حُرِّمَتْ عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَيْتَةُ وَالدَّمُ وَلَحْمُ الْخِنْزِيرِ. So Allah said, what's been haram for you is dam, blood, al-mayta, which is all animals that have died, hatfa anfihi, as in died of their own cause or whatnot, as in just died, wal-khinzir, and pork, وَمَا أُهِلَّ لِغَيْرِ اللَّهِ بِهِ, and what has been sacrificed for other than Allah. That's another one. And he mentioned other things like animals that have been that have died from being hit over the head, and have died through a blow to the head or whatnot. So basically they died other than through the dhabh.
Okay.
So dhabh is important. The knife, the blade, the dhabh, the blood flowing is important. So yes, they are Ahl Kitab, but they don't slaughter. So for example, they'll get like a gun which basically punctures their head, and they die through essentially a base over the head. They get basically smacked over the head,
Yeah.
and they die from that injury. They don't die from that one. Now the issue of electrocution is an issue.
Okay.
If you electrocuted the animal to death,
Yeah.
then haram. But if you electrocuted them to knock them out and then did dhabh, it's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, back to the saying, where you live, out of London, the issue is, the meat that's there, I'm sure it must be hard to get halal food out there. Can I eat Ahl Kitab? If they slaughter, yeah. If the Christian slaughters, then yes. And I even said to many people, like, places like Jamaica where they do slaughter, generally speaking, I'm not sure it is now, but in the past in Jamaica they used to or still do slaughter. Yeah. Ask any Jamaican, that's why you find a lot of these West Indian shops, they say halal, because there's a thing about the meat and how it should be killed. If they do slaughter, as you do dhabh with knife, then you can eat Christian and Jewish food. But again, Christians don't have laws like that anymore. Their religion is wishy-washy. But Jews still do. Yeah. So your Jewish food is all perfectly fine. There's a place in Brick Lane actually, where they do bagels. It's a Jewish place. They have some salt beef there. Unfortunately, it's not even kosher. So it's a Jewish establishment, but they don't even sell kosher. So you have to be careful. If it's a Jewish establishment, ask the Jew, is this meat kosher?
Yeah.
If he says yeah, you're good to go.
Okay.
I mean, in terms of Sharia laws, the Muslim and the Jew are very similar. The Jews still implement most of what they think is their religion, and it is mostly in line with what it is. I mean, even things like having your trousers above your ankles, a lot of things is very much similar to what we have deen-wise. Christians are on the next thing. They, a long time ago, removed their Sharia and replaced it with something else. Most of the denominations are out there. So Christians, don't worry about them. Yeah. But Jews, in terms of their food specifically, it's all kosher, mate. It's all kosher. Anyway. Quick addition. So, start again, what I was saying to the brother. So, don't make life difficult for yourself when it comes to meat being halal and haram. A lot of people a lot of Muslims, I guess due to their enthusiasm and zeal for halal, and the confusion between the word halal and and the concept of clean. Yeah. You seem to think that halal means clean. Not necessarily. I mean, you can have cleaner meat which is not halal. Yeah. I mean, if you look at a lot of the Muslim abattoirs, they're terrible compared to some of the reputable kuffar repertoires. In terms of how they treat the animal, how they kill it or not. Minus the slaughtering process, they're probably even a lot more cleaner and looked after.
Yeah.
So don't get confused with that. So if an animal's been abused in its life and kept into a cage and the rest of it, that's bad.
Yeah.
But that's not a criterion of halal and haram. Remember that.
Yeah.
A chicken may be in a cage the whole life and then slaughtered. As long as it was slaughtered as it's supposed to be, it's fine. So Aisha said, "O Messenger of Allah, many of the Bedouins come from the desert and they bring their meat. We don't know if this is Bismillah on the meat."
Yeah.
And so the Messenger of Allah said, "Then you say Bismillah and eat." I.e., don't question meat like that. Or don't question the food like don't go overboard in excessive when it comes to the treatment of your meat. Meat is meat.
Yeah.
If a Muslim says halal, it's halal. If he's lying to you, sin's on him.
Okay.
But remember, like I said to you, don't confuse cleanliness with halal. The sin is on him. It doesn't mean the meat is more or less clean. It just means the sin is on him. It's a sinful thing to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't make the meat haram. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So one guy has got a knife, a Muslim guy, and he slaughters the animal, doesn't say Bismillah Akbar. Another guy does the same thing but says Bismillah Akbar. What physically is the difference? Nothing. Just what he said.
Yeah.
But one is halal, one is haram. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So don't confuse the two basically. And finally, there was another example, just to deal with the issue of electrocution. There was a woman for a Sahabiya who was herding her sheep on top of a mountain.
Yeah.
And the mountain is called Jabal Sala'. Sala' is right, if you're in Masjid Nabawi,
Yeah.
the front of the masjid is this way. It's the back right hand side. It's a nice mountain. It's got a little bit building on top. I climbed it once when I was there. So the rocks there are very sharp, and it's weird, but it's very sharp. As in, if you throw a rock and it hits the ground, it sounds like you threw glass. It's literally like that. So she said that she was herding a sheep on this mountain, and one of the sheep slipped and fell.
Yeah.
So she rushed down to capture the animal, well not catch it, but get it before it died. Picked up one of those stones, because like I said, it's sharp, and did the dhabh of the animal before it died.
Yeah.
So she asked Messenger of Allah, "Can I eat this meat? Because this is what I did." And he said, "Yeah." Now, what's key about this narration is that it would have died on its own,
Yeah.
but it didn't. It died by a Muslim hand with the dua that is necessary to make it halal.
Okay.
Same thing with electrocution. You can shock an animal, and as long as it's still alive before the blade touches its neck, it's halal. It's only haram if it died from electrocution. No matter how much time you cut its neck after the fact, if it died by electrocution, then it's dead. Then it's like that. You get me?
Yeah.
So electrocution doesn't mean anything. There is a doubt which some people raise that okay, but electrocution will kill them though. Like I said to you, it doesn't matter if it will do it. The fact is, what is likely to happen and did it happen?
Yeah.
That's it, bro. That's it.